Well, welcome once again to a video devotional today. So this last Sunday, we launched into our sermon series entitled The Waiting Room. And Pastor Ralph had a question for us to look at for the week. And that was, where do you see God's blessings and promises in your life? So I wanted to take a peek into that and dug into that for myself. And it's interesting. I think it's an interesting question in this time as we're challenged with the pandemic and so many other things. But what occurred to me was that at this time, having gone through what we've been through, which in part I see as kind of a removal from normal life, right? I mean, we've kind of been shifted in almost how we do everything. We've had to think more about it, be more intentional about everything that we do. And in that process, for me, what I recognized as I thought about the question of where do I see God in my life, in blessings and promises, was that in having been removed from normal life as I knew it, I've been able to, my awareness and my vision, my appreciation has been increased exponentially. So, for example, and specifically around things that I just took for granted, that I just took for granted, right? I mean, that's one of the things that happens is as we get accustomed to certain things, we just start taking them for granted. We just assume that they'll always be there. And so for me, and as I thought about this, I was looking at various things. I mean, one of the things that I really miss right now is travel. And it's heightened my awareness of how much I value travel, how much it means to me to be able to hop on a plane and go to different places and not only here within the U.S. to see family and things like that, but also internationally. I had a trip planned in August for a meeting I had in Germany. And I was so looking forward to that. And it didn't even occur to me until the meeting got scheduled on Zoom that I wasn't going. I hadn't even thought, I hadn't even planned on it. I just assumed it was off. And I don't know. It was just one of those things that raises your awareness. So for me, my awareness of those things that I've taken for granted, specifically with travel, which to me also heightens my anticipation, right, of my next trip. I so look forward to that opportunity to do that safely, but also it will mean that much more to me. I will value it that much more, and I do value it that much more, and I appreciate it so much more. Other things I've taken for granted: gathering with family, connecting with my family. In a way, my immediate family that's here, my awareness of how much I value them, and I've had more time with them over these last months as we've been quarantined, or under lockdown, and it's been really meaningful. But also just connecting with family, those gatherings. Maybe more so just the gatherings period where you can, with reckless abandon, you didn't even think about it, about any transmission of anything. You just gathered and you shook hands, you hugged when you needed a hug, all that kind of stuff that I was taking for granted. And now my awareness of that and the value of that is elevated. Another thing was gathering as a church community. This is something that I think I hear from many of you, that how much you value it. Even in normal times prior to this, I hear that, and I experience that myself. I value it greatly. But it really struck home this last week when we had God's Work Our Hands, just in the parking lot over there, the drive-through event. When I was able to connect personally with people, in conversation and hand them communion, just so meaningful to gather as a community. And even though cars were driving through and it wasn't everybody all at once, we were all united in our purpose and our intent, and the collective community feel to it was just amazing. And it's really heightened my my awareness of how meaningful that connection is in my life. And so I encourage you now to continue to ask the question, where do you see God's blessings and promises in your life? Even in the midst of this, I think they are there. And for me, it's a heightened awareness of things that I've taken for granted for so long, that now I put in a different perspective and value and appreciate that much more. So blessings to you this week as you go about your week, and I wish you a blessed day.